Welcome to the event and thanks for joining us today. So the event is Bgss Vibe in Good Company, as you'll probably seen on the invite. So in case some of you haven't been to a Bgss event before, or if you're not familiar with who we are, I'll just do a really brief introduction to Bgss as a company, and then we'll get into the event proper just after that. So Bgss is a technology consultancy. It's been founded in 1993 in Leeds, and since then we've expanded across the UK and then internationally as well. So in 2012, that was when we first started internationally in New York, and recently we've also expanded into Portugal and Australia, so that was in 2020, and we're now around 2,000 people across 15 locations, and we're still growing. We were originally a software delivery focused consultancy, but we've since expanded into design with Spark, digital transformation, cloud platform, data AI, managed service, and business consulting, among other things. So there's a lot going on. But some of the key values that we want to retain as we grow are things like integrity, honesty, and quality, and that's between our staff, ourselves, and between us and our clients. And one of the things that makes that possible is our people. So the Bgss Vibe this event is the first in a sort of series of events that we're trying to put on. They'll be quarterly, and they're supposed to give you an idea what behind the curtain, what the people are like at Bgss, what goes into making delivery possible in the way that we do it. And this is the first event in that series. And this one is a bit of a scattershot around just sort of learning a bit about our people. And part of the format is going to be some short videos. And in those videos, there's like a selection of people all the way from managing director to, people that are working on the ground every day. And it'll cover 4 different themes, and at the end of each video we'll go into a panel discussion with who's here on the panel, and there's a live Q&A as well as part of the event, so put any questions you've got in there and we'll answer them towards the end of the event. If you do need to drop out, the event will be recorded and we'll send that out to anybody who wants it afterwards. I think anyone who's signed up to the event will get the recording. But to start off with, introductions. So I'm Tim Pepper. I am a software developer. I'm a tech lead. I'm a squad lead, and I'm also a D&I champion at Bgss Leeds. And I've been around for about 3 years. So let's hand over to Daisy. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Daisy. I joined Bgss about 5 years ago now via the academy. And during that time, I've played the role of developer, platform engineer, and tech lead.
And Sarah?
Just a mute. So I'm Sarah Tulip. My role is head of digital transformation here at Bgss. So been here for 9 months, so I'm still a newbie compared to you guys. And I get involved as well with some of our clients, so some of the client delivery and making sure that at exec level they are happy with us.
And Lorraine?
Hi, I'm Lorraine Oluwashuko. I have been in Bgss for 3.5 years now, and I work as a business analyst.
And Kane?
Hello, my name's Kane. I've been at Bgss about 2.5 years, although I'm currently working as a systems analyst.
Cool. So our first video is basically, who are you and why are you at Bgss? So go on, Fern.
My name is Charlotte Sutton. I'm one of the regional delivery leads for our Leeds office, and I've been with the company for 4.5 years now.
My name is Sanchez. I'm an automation tester at Bgss. I've been at Bgss for about 6.5 years now, closing to 7.
So my name is Akash Perber. I'm a non-functional tester at Bgss, and I've been there for about 5.5 years now.
My name is Anthony Garrett, and my job title is database engineer. I think I've been here 8 years. I did have a year in addition to that on contract before I joined as a permanent employee.
My name is Hepzibah Reddy and my role here at Bgss is a software engineer. I've been here since April this year, but I left for a year and came back again because I realized how good it is.
My name is Julian Gonzalez and I'm a business analyst. I've been at Bgss for 2 years now.
My name is Alison Kinlock and I have a couple of main roles at Bgss. I work for one of the clients as a technical architect, but I also have a role as a principal architect at Bgss as well. I've been at Bgss for over 10 years.
My name's Simon Green and I'm a software engineer. I've been at Bgss for just under 2 years now.
My name is Lana Younes and I am a delivery manager in the Leeds office. I have been here for just over 6 months. It's very new to the company, but I'm loving every minute of it.
Hi, I'm Stuart Bullock. I'm the Managing Director and I joined Bgss in 2000.
I've worked in Leeds in the digital sector for a number of years now, and everybody who I've spoken to has heard of Bgss and the great work that they've done, and they continue to do within the digital sector. So I've always been drawn to wanting a job here.
Originally for me, things that brought me to Bgss was the variety, really, being able to work for a consultancy, having a range of clients across a range of sectors.
It's playing an important role into things that are critical at the moment, so things like COVID, the NHSE referral system, which is another critical system.
The work that I do is interesting, it's varied, and it challenges me at every turn. I'm always learning.
So there's a lot of good stuff in there, but I think the first thing to do is ask some of the panelists what brought you to Bgss. So I'll start with Lorraine. What brought you to Bgss?
Okay, so before I worked in Bgss, I was working in NHS Digital, one of our healthcare clients. And I remember working for up to almost 10 years, almost a decade in NHS Digital. And I was contemplating whether to move on or stay. And I remember one of our projects, consultancies came to work on this project. And Bgss came and their people were very different. The expertise, the professionalism, the way they built relationships with us, their problem solving, how they thought out of the box. And as I'm talking, I remember so clearly at my desk, looking to my left at one of the Bgss people and said, you know what, I want to move on. And when I do move on, I must work in Bgss. I'm still here 3.5 years later.
I was kind of similar. I met some Bgss people but at an event and do some BAs, and I'm a BA, so I was talking to them and realised that they knew a lot and that I could, whilst I could happily stay where I was prior to Bgss forever and I'd been okay, I wanted to get better, and part of that's involving being around as many people as possible that I can learn from, and that's what I've got in spades.
So how about you, Sarah?
Yeah, so I've been around for, I said this earlier as well, I've been around for a long time now on the sort of Leeds tech scene, and have always known Bgss and always known that they were quality and at the heart of the city, and I'd kind of watched, you know, the organisation grow. And I have a diversity and inclusion organisation called Wild, and actually the MD is on the board of it because he's really passionate about diversity. So I've got to know him via that, and just getting to know him and some of the people around when I was looking to make a move, I just knew that we had shared values, and it was really important for me to work with people who, you know, who were thinking the same way as me. So I was really inspired by that time with Stuart and getting to know other people, and knew it was the right next move for me.
Cool. And I guess Daisy, you started with the academy, didn't you?
Yeah, so weirdly, compared to everyone else, I actually hadn't heard of Bgss before I joined. I hadn't even considered what it would be like to work for a consultancy up until a point that I met a few of the academy students at the time and some of the recruiters at a careers fair at my uni. And from then, that's when I sort of learned that working for a consultancy like Bgss would mean that I'd be working with different domains and clients and technologies. And I think it was Charlotte in the video who was sort of describing that variety, and that's what really appealed to me, the ability to get that breadth of experience, especially coming straight out of university. That's what drew me in. And I guess like Lorraine, the rest of it is history.
Yeah, I mean, my story is very, very similar, I suppose, to Kane's, that I just sort of, I came out of a software house and thought I need to challenge myself now. I need to sort of get exposed to lots of different things, lots of different people, and really sort of level up my skills. And then when I arrived at Bgss, it was like, wow, okay, there's a lot of people here and lots of opinions, and there's a lot of people around that have got, you know, the expertise that I want. How am I going to get there? And it sort of opened my eyes a lot about how, you know, what could happen in the future, and like what could be possible in terms of where my career could go. But then since then, like what's kept me here is that my role has changed over time, and become more and more about what I love doing, which is supporting people and things like that, which has been really good. But yeah, I guess the idea is everyone's got a different like path into here, but we found very similar stuff when we got here. Is that there's a lot of expertise around the ground. There's a lot of people that are willing to help. It's a great sort of path for a lot of people here. So I guess the next section we've got is what do you love about Bgss? So start with a video again for that one. Are you ready, Fern? Yeah.
The thing that makes me proud to work at Bgss is definitely the people. So you've got really passionate people across all the disciplines who just love what they do. They work really hard, solve really difficult problems, and just come together to form amazing teams.
It's that vibrant community that I like, because they're all like-minded people, driven, passionate, and they want to be here.
So I've never felt worried or scared to ask anyone for help. I can get someone that's been in the industry for 20, 25 years, and they'll be equally as approachable as someone that's been here as an apprentice for 2 months. So that's something that's really guided me through my career at Bgss.
I think Bgss does quality first and foremost, really stands out as being the #1 thing that they do really well.
They are very good at being a strong software engineering company in solving the hard problems and having a really good relationship with the client, being honest with the clients, being able to have good conversations with the clients, and help move forwards with the clients to a really, really good solution.
So I guess there's quite a few different things in that video. I guess one of the things that I wanted to pull out of there was Charlotte, who's a regional delivery director, was basically mentioning the people and the people that are around her that make it good. I don't know if any of you have got anything you wanted to like explain about what you found about the people as you got here.
I can jump in actually. The thing that's different from everywhere else I've worked is it doesn't feel as top down as anywhere else. So my line manager is, I don't work with them. I haven't worked on a project before. And the relationship was more about me getting what I needed for my career and helping make sure that's set up. So put me in contact with the right people, and really understanding that rather than you must do this and you must do that. It was more, how can we keep you here and keep you happy? And as I've been here a couple of years now, I have line managers where I do the same. Only one of them I've ever worked with directly. The rest it's more, how can we get you to where you want to be, which is nice. That's what I want. I don't want someone to say this is prescribed, this is what you must do. It's more like, what do you want to do? How do we make that work?
I think it's also the people focus as well is what I found. So like even across lockdown, we found, I found that like people like gifts have arrived. I know that Lorraine, you've loved the gifts that have come as well.
Oh yeah. So during lockdown, we got a number of packages, variety of packages from BGSS. From a package from Lottie Show. Lottie Show is a local business where we had flapjacks and shortbread. So BGSS supporting local businesses, to gingerbread making kit, popcorn making kit. We had a Christmas hamper with a variety of stuff in there. We had a well-being box. I'm proud to show you my plant that was in the well-being box called Spiky. We had water bottles, notebooks. So even my kids looking forward to the packages we get from BGSS. But the thing is, I must say though that it's not a tick box exercise. It's not, BGSS are just trying to go with the flow, follow the trend. Great thought and planning went into this. So this is BGSS recognizing that people have gone through a tough time. We've gone through a tough time with the pandemic, and they appreciate the hard work that we have done. We got feedback from clients saying the quality of our work was still maintained even during the challenging times. And it's a testament to the people really. And BGSS recognize that and appreciates that in us.
I think the other thing that's been quite good as we've been coming out of lockdown as well is that the people focus on events afterwards, because I mean, after we've come out, everyone wants to party or at least see people and do things and things like that. But we've ended up, we just make sure that, we're not forcing anyone to do anything they're not comfortable with. We're not like making people go into the office if they don't want to. And then even when we've organized parties, it's been along the lines of, let's do things to make sure people feel as comfortable as possible coming back into work, just to make sure that we can socialize and we can sort of celebrate our people, but also do it in a nice way that doesn't force anyone to do anything they don't want to do.
I think that's, even if you look at it in a really horribly brutal way and say, BGSS want to do that because we want to look after the people because the people are a product, that even though at base level that's what it is, it's sincere. I am looked after and I look after the people that I work with. We look after our clients. We want our clients to leave better having worked with us. It's not just, here you go, there's the work. It's let's come along on a journey and do something. And that's something that they're really good at. And I think that's something that, because we want to have that with our clients, it ends up having that with each other as well.
It is interesting, that message about, Lorraine mentioned it about clients say it's different working with us, and it's really interesting that we self-organize and we care about people and we focus on quality, and I really think it comes out in our work and how we carry ourselves with our clients. But it's every client that I've spoken to, for whatever reason, has said we love working with BGSS. It's different working with BGSS, and I definitely think that's because of the people.
Cool. So one of the next things, so Hepzibah mentioned the community aspect when you join BGSS, and I think I've definitely found that you can find your people at BGSS, whoever those people may be. So you can find your Java people, you can find your test community, you can find your DM community, and they're just there willing to help you and sort of share passions with you. And it's one thing, just joining that big tech community was one of the biggest things that attracted me to BGSS, and it's definitely not disappointed since I got here. As I guess, has anyone else found that as they've joined?
I found that you as an engineer, it's not just you as an engineer, as somebody working on a client project. It is you as an engineer with the backing of many, many, many other brilliant minds supporting you while you're doing it. So if you find yourself in a position where you're like, I'm not certain about this, you've got so many people you can go to and ask who will help you work that out. And they want to help. We all want to sort of make sure that we're all supported, because that network is so valuable.
I think continuing that on, I think as well, if you think no two clients we deal with have the same tech stack, they're from different industries, we're constantly dealing with different problems with different languages and technology, and it's all held together by maybe Slack is the centerpiece. And if you think about it, there's 2,000 amazing people sat behind it, and you can ask the question, you can find a community. And I think, in a lot of organizations that I've worked in, we kind of have, it's quite linear. you're probably working on this one thing. It might be a product, it might be whatever, but you're kind of all working to that one thing. You can't just lean into other technologies and say you want to go and learn this and do this. I think it has this really special, freedom. And I think there's that, because there's that entrepreneurial spirit that, like, if you're interested in that, go off and do it, and then we, take it with you. I think that's pretty special.
Too right, Sarah, too right. Yeah, so because we have our capability, so your specialism, so I'm in the BA capability, for example, but I'm an ally with the delivery management capability. So I get to get involved or know what's happening in the delivery management space. And so another thing is, what Sarah said about encouraging people if they're interested in other things. Recently, we got an email saying, look, we're looking for platform engineers. There's an academy if you're interested in being a platform engineer. And I said, you know what? Yeah, why not? So I've registered my interest. And that's the thing about Bgss. Really, the path is yours. Wherever you want to go, there's so much opportunity. And really, it's left to you to decide, okay, with the support, obviously, from management, from leadership, from your, from the various line managers, but there's so much opportunity that you have to decide, okay, which path do I really want to go? So that's brilliant about working here.
What's interesting about all that is all the structures that you mentioned, Lorraine, around capability leads and everything else, that is all there, and that is arranged to promote that type of stuff. That makes sense, and it makes the business better. But there's grassroots stuff as well. It's not just this way, it's also this way, which probably reflects the right egoless attitude, which is the way it should be. It's the type of people I want to work with. So there's ethics communities, there is sustainability in tech communities, there are sustainable service design communities. These aren't things that have come around because someone said this is something, this is like a direction. This is just someone said, I've got this idea and got a group of people together and then done it. It's organic, it's properly homegrown.
I would say, I agree with that. And I think one of the things that I found as well, the whole time I've been here is you can find people that have got really specific and really wonderful interests, and you can find out about them and you can learn from them, and, doing lunch and learns, have some food, learn about how a compiler decompiles things. It's great. Okay, I can do that. That sounds like a really good way to spend an hour of my time. But it's because, we've got somebody that just really genuinely cares about how that works and wants to explain how it works and wants to tell us, and you can find so many of those people around, and if you've got that particular problem where the compiler isn't doing what you want, then that person exists, and they are happy to help you, and yeah, as Kane said, it's just people coming from the ground up. It's no one's telling us to care about these things. It's just things that we care about, and want to deliver good stuff around that area. I guess the next thing that Alison mentioned as well is the client relationship. So we're good at building up a relationship with a client, and I think one of the things is that we sort of treat the client as part of the team when we're with them. And I don't know if anyone's got examples of that or any sort of things that they want to add on to that, like examples where you've been with the client. And
I can't something to that. Oh, sorry, go on, Daisy.
I was going to say, one of the projects that I worked on, it was a mixed supplier project, and it was permanent staff from the client and also a bunch of different suppliers, including ourselves. But judging by the people in the team, to look at them up front as an outsider, you wouldn't have known that there was any difference between anyone, because we ingrain ourselves so deeply into the teams ourselves that it doesn't matter, because you're all there to do a job together, that there shouldn't be a us versus them situation. There shouldn't be any kind of difference between somebody who is there because they're working from BGSS versus there because they are client staff. We're all trying to achieve the same goal. And it's really lovely to have seen that.
It's interesting as well, because I think that's one of the things that clients identify as different, because a lot of consultancies come in and they do it to the client. They don't go on the journey with them. So they come in and it's almost that land and expand. We're going to put a big team, we're going to deliver it, and we're going to go away. And we just don't approach it like that. It's okay. It's like, how do we help you solve that problem? And how do we, help, develop your people? And how do we help build the skill set? And it was only yesterday, actually, I was helping out with a client, and I was arranging a social. And I spoke to one of the senior people in Bgss, and they said, have you invited the people from the client as well? And I had, you know, like, I'm quite new to the business, it hadn't occurred to me, but it was like, of course, like everybody goes, you know, if we're working with them, you know, we'll do some fun stuff with them too.
So I think time to move on to our next section. So this section is how do you fit into Bgss? We'll start off with the video again.
Bgss makes the best use of my talents by understanding me as an individual and being interested in my goals and aims for my own career, and taking those into consideration when thinking about suitable projects.
When you have a broad skill set, Bgss is willing to send you to the client and let you prove yourself. You know, you can go into a project, you have one skill to demonstrate, but you know that if that project comes to an end, you have another project that you can go to and a whole different skill to demonstrate.
They provide a variety of projects in a variety of industries, and there's always an opportunity to move between projects that suit you. And if you start on a project and maybe you want another challenge, or you've got a professional sort of goal that you want to achieve, Bgss allows you to do that.
I've joined as a non-functional tester, but I feel like I have free reign to say if I wanted to delve into another capability, I'd have the freedom to do that. I always feel like it's up to me to drive where I want to go, and that's something that Bgss has always actively encouraged.
One of the reasons I have stayed and will stay with Bgss is the fact that I've only ever been judged on my ability, on what I can do. And if you work hard and show what you can do, nothing else matters.
So I guess one of the things that Simon mentioned in the video was understanding you as an individual and your goals and aspirations. And I found all the time that I've been at Bgss is that that's been totally true. That, you know, somebody's there to basically go, oh, what do you want to do? You know, we can call you a software developer. That doesn't mean that's what you're going to be. That means that's what you are now. And I guess it's something that I found as well is that the support is there. We've got lots of different learning pathways. We've got people around us, like we've mentioned capability leads before. They're there basically to say, this is how you do this. You know, you might be a developer now, but if you want to be a delivery manager, this is how you get there. I know people that have moved from the test capability to the delivery management capability. I know people that have moved about in different ways, but I guess the idea is that your individual goals and aspirations are really taken seriously. And putting you onto a project where that can happen is one of our priorities, obviously, when we can. But it's a good thing that we do all the time. Have anyone found that when they've been here?
Yeah, with Bgss, you're not just a cog in the wheel. They value your specialism, but if you want to get involved in other things, they work with you to make that a reality. So not this project, but the 2 projects ago, I obviously got into the project as a business analyst, but over time, I took on the product owner role as well as the delivery manager role for that particular project. And it was during lockdown, so it was a tough time. However, the support I got, not just from leadership team, from the capabilities themselves, delivery management capability in particular, the peers, the team, it was great. One of my achievements, taking on those 3 roles successfully. So that's the thing about Bgss. They value other things you can bring into the role, and they trust you enough to give you those roles, to make you do other things. They trust you enough to give you that opportunity. In fact, I do like, we have reviews every 3 months. Yeah, I know people have a thing about reviews. Trust me, it's not a tick box exercise with Bgss. And it's an opportunity for me to get to know what's happening furthermore in the company, opportunities that are there. It's not just in the reviews we get to know. They communicate with us as well. We have company updates, and Leeds leadership team also give updates as well. But the thing I like about my reviews is that it gives me a chance to know how to leverage the opportunities from a personal perspective. So for example, tech and youth, very close to Bgss heart, very close to my heart. We collaborate with a company called, or an organization called Ahead Partnership. One of their aims is to expose young people to tech, the different tech careers that are available. That opportunity was there. I was glad to be involved. So I've gone out to schools to talk to them about tech, tech jobs, what BA, business analysis is all about, debunking some myths some young people had about tech. You know, someone said, oh, is it true that you work in a room where there are wires all around and it's in a dark room? I think she was thinking of IT crowd. So it was a pleasure, an honor to debunk that myth, to say, nope. And so I'm glad that, BGSS provides that opportunity and I'm part of it. And I appreciate that.
If you've got an idea, you can share it and someone else will be interested and you can build on it. So I'm interested in sustainability in tech and what that means. So I reached out to my capability lead, who reached out to other capability leads, and we all spoke from different technical angles, from an automation point of view, from a dev point of view, from a platform point of view, what that means, how do we define that? And then it's, let's speak to the leadership team. What does that mean? There's never any kind of barrier. That's a good idea. Let's talk about that. How do we work that into our everyday life, that kind of thing. I've already mentioned that I've had a great line manager, and now I have line managers as well. And that isn't because that actually isn't something I saw in myself. It's something that's been reflected back at me of, oh, you're probably good at this because you do this naturally on product anyway. You want to bring people along. So why don't you try being part of the buddy scheme at BGSS? When someone new comes in, they have some, as well as all the other stuff, they have someone that's not part of like not a line manager or not a squad lead, someone who's just there just to say, this is where they sell nice coffee close by or whatever. Started doing that and then realized actually I'll go and do line management, and now I've got line managers that aren't even BAs, that are automation testers and things. So completely different capability to myself. But because it's about getting that person their aims, it's not, I can still go out and find a mentor or do whatever I need to do to get them to be where they want to be. So even if I don't have the idea initially myself, having someone to reflect that back with means this opportunity is there, even if I don't recognize it myself to begin with.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Having your line manager or your squad lead working with you to sort of encourage you, but even to challenge you. So when I've been looking at what project or what sort of role I want to do next, being encouraged and challenged to take on, say, a tech lead role, even if originally that sort of thing was slightly out of my comfort zone, but I was well supported to do it, and I've benefited massively from taking on that challenge. And I don't know whether I'd have done it had I not had those people behind me to do it. So yeah, I'd thoroughly agree with that.
I mean, I was the same. So when I got given the offer to do tech lead, my response was, if you think so, it might work out. But it's up to you if you think, and then being pushed into that role, it just sort of within a few months, it was like, oh yeah, I really, really enjoy this. This is definitely where I wanted to, I should have known this is where I wanted to be. But it's just somebody knowing you well enough to sort of push you in that direction, and knowing that you can go, they can give you that challenge, but also that you've got the support behind you as well. You've just got other people around, you're not only like these BGSS sort of capability lead and things like that, you've also got the project itself. So even when you're on the project, you've got everyone around you is there just helping you to succeed in your role. And it's just a really good feeling when you've got that sort of team around you, and it doesn't matter. You can fail a little bit. That's fine, because people will pick up from around you, and you've just got that everyone around you just helping you to achieve that as well. I think one of the other things that came out of the video as well is the pigeonhole. You don't feel pigeonholed. You don't feel like you sort of treated on your ability. And I've definitely found that. And I think one of the things that I find quite good about the squad lead role is that I'm a developer, which is a technical role, but I do pastoral care for people because it's something that I think I want to do and something that I think I'm good at. And we've got other squad leads that are sort of technical architects and other sort of like roles that you wouldn't normally associate with caring about people. No offense to technical people, but but the thing is, you're judged on that ability to do that and that passion, rather than what your literal job description is. And I found that the whole time I've been here.
It's funny, I'm almost the reverse because I am a BA and therefore somewhat technical, but by no means as technical as Tim in any way. But because I've done more technical projects, being at BGSS, and actually really liked conceptual data mapping and looking at data and realizing what that means. Now I'm going to head towards like a data analysis role, which is far more technical than something I'd have done a couple of years ago. I wouldn't have dared touch that. But an academy's been set up for it. So yeah, why not?
Okay, so we're going to move on to our final section. So this section is what sort of support have you had at BGSS?
At Bgss, I get very well supported by my line manager. They're always there. If I need somebody to talk to, need some help, I can go and speak to them.
They've very much got the people's minds and the people's well-being like, at heart.
I'd say people are very approachable at BGSS across all different kind of disciplines, whether it's someone who's an expert, maybe a technical architect. I found that they're just as happy to talk about things as maybe someone else who's at an equivalent level to me, like someone who's newer as a software developer.
There is a huge amount of support here, not just from squad leads, line managers and project managers, but also from your peers who are always ready to give you information, have chats with you, to bring you up to date with something you might not know about or catch your mistakes, anything, they're there.
It's really nice that it's not just business, it is actually, you know, a personal relationship with the people that you work with.
So I think out of that, I know that like we've mentioned a lot of these roles before as we've been talking about other topics, but a lot of they came up in the video as well. So there's things like the buddy scheme as you arrive at BGSS, and then you've got line managers and you've got your peer-to-peer support. So that comes through different ways. We've got your capability, which is, you know, all of the people that you align with in terms of what your job description is. And then you've got your squad and your squad lead. So your squad lead is someone there to do pastoral care. So that's what I do at BGSS. But then you've also got your principal technologists, your regional delivery leads, you've got the local leadership team, you've got mentors, peer-to-peer coaching, and D&I champions all the way through, lots and lots of different people that are all around basically to help. And I guess, Ken, with you had the example with the sustainability, where basically you end up just going to one of those people and then it seems to expand out to lots of other people. I don't know if you got any more on that.
Originally it was just an idea. Excuse me. Originally it was just an idea, but because I went to my capability lead at the time, then my squad lead around, look, this is something I really want to look at. It was then their signposting that got in more technical people. So then I spent some time with a TA, a technical architect, talking around how you scale a solution in a sustainable way and what that might mean. And and we had a chat about it. He went away, came back a couple of days later with like a full document telling me this is how we do it, and I didn't ask him to do that. He just thought it was an interesting question, so that with graphs and everything. So that's just one example of someone not just wanting to just have a chat about it, but actually being really interested in it. I think that's the difference. People are interested in technology. If you're not interested in technology, this wouldn't fit. It's got to be part of your project every day.
So I guess I'm a squad lead at BGSS, and one of the things that we do is basically support people in order to do their job on a day-to-day basis, just pastoral cares and make people happy. And I really enjoy doing it, just because basically I don't feel like people will like do the best job unless they're supported fully. And also it's just great to push people. I know that line managers, and so I know, Ken, you do line management as well, and like about half of us probably do line management on the panel, but basically it's just good to push people and get them to a place where they're going to like excel as well. And that's one of the things that I really enjoyed doing at BGSS. And the other side, I suppose, is being a D&I champion. I'm sort of given the sort of remit to sort of push and go, wait a minute, we're not doing this right, or we need to be better at sort of representing different people within BGSS. And it's great that, you know, like, I mean, lots of places have them. I feel like we're really empowered at BGSS to be like, I've got something to say. I want to talk about this. Diversity and inclusion is really important, and it should be really important to everybody. So I really enjoy that as well. I guess it's sort of open to the panel. Does anyone want to sort of talk about any sort of support in particular that they've had while they've been at BGSS?
I want to use this opportunity to say that during lockdown, we lost my mom-in-law, and it was a challenging time. But I must say, hand on heart, that the support I got from line managers to colleagues to you know, leadership, it was just immense. So I want to publicly say thank you for supporting me, supporting my family during such a difficult time. And this is a testament to really BGSS. They do value people over work. People mean everything to BGSS. And this is not just, I don't know, I wish this is true. This is genuinely true. So thank you. So that is one support that I have got from BGSS.
I found the support from the people that I've just worked together with on projects, from like official mentors, but also unofficial mentors. Especially earlier on in my career, there was a lot of people who were just so willing to take time out to like set up sort of learning opportunities. But in the project itself, there were so many times where I got to try things and learn from them, and somebody would sort of gently show me where I was going right or where I was going wrong. And now that I'm more senior in my career, I'm able to set those up for other people. And I just love that we can perpetuate that cycle of support just at sort of like a day-to-day level. I think that's really good.
Cool. And I guess another thing that was highlighted in the video was the personal relationship side of it as well. So it isn't, I guess, I mean, we're beating this to death, I guess. We've talked about this so often, but I guess Nasi said, you know, it's just someone that has you back. It's a real personal relationship you have with these people. It's not just a box ticking exercise, as Lorraine would say. it's just, you know, you've got that personal relationship. But then the other thing is that people are quite approachable. So I know that Kane sort of mentioned the flat structure earlier on, but I think it's probably worth highlighting a bit at this point. So Simon and Hepzibah both mentioned how approachable people are. People are just happy to talk to you and sort of support you, especially when you don't know who to go to. It doesn't really matter. You can go to somebody and they'll point you in the right direction. I guess, has anyone found that as well while they've been here?
I think you just reminded me when I first of all started in BGSS, like the number of launches or meetups that I had, ranging from my new startup body to line manager to my fellow BAs, you know, people just introducing you to people, meetups, and it was just incredible. Because you see, sometimes when you start a company, you go through this imposter syndrome, like, what am I doing here? Or you think the impression I had before coming to the company is very different when I started. Was not that for BGSS. I do value how they made me feel welcome, how I settled, even the induction, getting your equipment sorted. It was just incredible. And I think, you know, when I was thinking about it, I think that has contributed to my still being here 3.5 years later, I think.
I have something to add with that as well. So the project I started when I joined was 90 people. So it was like joining a company within a company. It was and is humongous. And that could have quite easily been daunting, but because of all the things that Lorraine mentioned about being surrounded by people and the kind of formal and informal structures in place, it was okay. On my first day, I kind of left and I was like, oh, I haven't had to sit in a meeting and listen to someone explain something to me for 2 hours. It's just been here's your desk, this is what we're doing, and someone showed me around, and we've met everyone and all that kind of stuff. Not, it didn't feel super corporate, is the nicest way I'm trying to put that. And the guy that I sat next to at the time, we got chatting and asked how long he'd been here, and he said 25 years. And I was like, okay, how's it been? And he told me he'd been on 26 projects in 25 years, worked in Vienna, the UK, worked at being a developer, and now he's a BA. And I was like, right, that's quite a commendation from on my first day. And this guy started to explain the project to me in a very relaxed way. And I kind of left thinking, Bgss felt like you will work hard, because sometimes that's got to be the case, but you might as well have fun while you do it. Yeah, I think that's like it's in my mind, like unofficial motto.
I saw some stats, and it's just when I started, that was just interesting. I was sort of writing some information, and it said that last year 8% of the people that we hired were returners who had previously worked for Bgss, left, and then come back because they missed it so much. So I don't think many organizations get people coming back after they've left in such numbers. And I've met a few people who have said, oh, I work at Bgss, but I took a break, but now I'm back. And I'm like, what did you mean? Oh, I worked somebody else, but it didn't work out. You know, like Bgss is my home. And that really surprised me as well, Kane, when you talk to people and they say, I've been here 20 years, I've been here, you know that an organization must be doing something right to retain people. It gives you confidence, I guess, as a new person.
It's totally true. I've worked with numerous people that are returners, and that, you know, we always do the whole like, you're back again thing, but it's coming from a good place. You know, we're not just taking the mick out of them. It is because we genuinely are happy to see them back. I think Hepzibah was in the videos as well. She is a returner, and she said she came back and changed capability as well. So she's now a developer and doing what she wants to do. And yeah, it's great to see so many people back, I think. So I guess we'll just go on to some of the questions that have come through. Got one, which is, academy has been mentioned. What is that? So I guess, Daisy, you can probably field that one.
Yeah, so the academy has probably changed a bit since I joined 5 years ago, but a summary would be it's training you up as somebody who doesn't have experience working for a consultancy or working on a project to understand what it is that you're going to be doing, give you an overview of the what the experience is going to be like and what BGSS's values are and how you're going to apply those in your day-to-day job. I think we mentioned 2 types of academy. So we mentioned the academy as you join, say, as somebody coming fresh to technology. If you're coming out not necessarily straight from uni, but you might be joining as an apprentice, you might be joining as someone who just doesn't have a background in technology. And that's sort of like training you up to work as a consultant. But we also mentioned, say, a platform engineering academy, which maybe if you're switching capabilities to give you like a way to learn enough to be able to start moving into another capability. I think that probably covers it in general terms, but I'm sure there's some links that people would like to send out.
Yeah, there is information on the website about our academy, but yeah, it's open to sort of graduates and anyone at the moment. So we sort of opened it up to various different groups and people. We diversified who were bringing in through the academy recently. So we used to call it the Graduate Academy, but now it's the Academy because it's open to lots of different people. And yeah, as Daisy mentioned, we've got different academies for different purposes, including data engineering academies and platform academies, but also our general academy as well. Next one. So you look after each other and your clients, but does BGSS look after the local community in any way? So open to anyone to answer that one.
I guess from firsthand, that's how I got to know the MD of BGSS. So that's how I got to know Stuart, because he was passionate about the work that I was doing with colleges and universities about getting people from more diverse backgrounds into technology. And he sort of came along on that journey, and also looking at gender diversity and how he could implement that into the organisation. So I know that, you know, from the top down, there are passions in that space. I know then we do lots of particular things. So a head partnership, Lorraine, you mentioned the head, who are somebody really passionate about.
And there's also Tech Up as well. So this we're encouraging women coming into technology. We are a proud partner with Tech Up, gotten really involved with them. We've just recently, there's an application called Bgss, where you can, if you want to give to charity, you can go on there, so your gross percentage of it can go to charity before it gets taxed, which I find really good. During lockdown, we gave away laptops, IT equipment to, I think it was called Tech Angels, I think, and even individuals do different sorts of fundraising that individuals do. I remember at times someone brought in a cycle, we had to cycle somewhere, and we're raising money for some, you know, just bizarre, fun stuff that we do individually at Bgss.
I think as well that obviously this is the digital festival, and Bgss have stayed the premier sponsor as part of this, and the reason being is we talked about all this knowledge that we have and all this ability, and we love to use this time to share it with the community. So putting on hackathons, putting on, you know, events in health tech where we have specialisms. So we do give back with regards to, you know, traditional CSR that you would think of working with schools and children, but actually the wider tech community is really, really important to us because this is where we're headquartered. And so Leeds, I think, will always, forever, no matter if we grew bigger in other countries of the world, would have a special place in the BGSS heart.
More luckily as well, I think there's been stuff in the past doing Leeds libraries and going to schools and having a chat with students who might never consider working in technology, because it isn't sat behind a desk looking at the matrix. That's not what it's like. But when I was in school, that's probably what I thought it was, whereas actually my job is talking a hell of a lot and drawing lots of models at the moment. So giving that refresh of what it means to work in technology to a school is something that I wish I'd have had.
So our next question, with BGSS being a consultancy, does everyone have to work in the office? Who wants to take that one?
I was just going to say quickly from our backgrounds, definitely, if these are all in the office, they are some weird offices. Sorry, Lorraine, carry on.
I was about to just say, oh, no, we don't. So no, we don't have to work in the office. I'm going back to what even the clients have said during lockdown, because before lockdown, we were so primed for work from home. Yeah, it's not like they trusted us enough to work from home. So when the lockdown happened, our IT, so big up to the IT team, they really, you know, this remarkable job. Even when you're starting new, how you were able to get your kids even working with the work from home situation. So yes, you don't have to be in the office, although the Leeds office is beautiful, by the way. So if you want to come in, you can come in, but you don't have to, and we're getting our job done. In fact, on my team, it's what Bgss from different offices working on currently on my project. So yeah, so this work from home is really ideal for us to get our job done.
I think it's been like really important to add that level of flexibility, especially as we've been, you know, coming into this sort of new era where people can work from the office or not. And we've sort of moved to a hybrid working model at the moment, which does mean you can basically work from the office if you want to, if you want to socialize, if you want to just, you know, if you've got too many loud things at home or for any reason, really, you can come into the office, but it's not enforced at the moment. But obviously we are a consultancy, which means that we've got lots of clients, which means that sometimes you know, you might have to work from a specific location, but it's been a lot more flexible recently. It's been a lot more you know, up to your team and how you work. And again, when we've got that relationship with the client that they trust us, so they don't need to watch us. They don't need to be over our shoulder in an office telling you, why aren't you working? Because we've built up that trust and we've gone, okay, we can work from elsewhere, so trust us. And then it gives you that, you know, that flexibility. And then the other thing is, you know, being able to go, okay, I need to pick up my kids at 3 o'clock, so I'm going to be offline for a few minutes. People are just like, yes, okay, that's fine, you know, as long as you meet go to all your meetings, that's fine, you know, like it's all really becoming a lot more flexible. I find out of the lockdown, and I think it's something we're really invested in at the moment, is making sure that people can sort of have that, go into the office if you want to, or work from home if it's required. You know, it's kind of up to you at this point.
That's been my experience as well. I've been going to the office like once every couple of weeks, just I needed a change of scenery. So I'm actually going in tomorrow. So I logged on and booked a desk. I saw who was sat at wherever and thought, I haven't seen this person for a while. I'm going to book a desk near them because I haven't seen them for a year, and say hello. So having that flexibility is quite nice. It's completely my choice. It's just something that I feel like I just need to get out of the house for a bit. I've been stuck in the middle of York for 18 months. So actually having the opportunity to do that and having it automated and not having to ring someone and ask them, I can just use an app because they built it. So it's there to be used.
Yeah, as well, I've been in to do some whiteboard sessions, and I still personally love to innovate around people. You know, like if you're going to be like planning and mapping something out, it feels really good to be in a room with people to do that. And especially when you've spent so much time alone, it just gets your mind going again. So I've done a couple of sessions in the office like that. I really love them. And I've had like a fancy sandwich at lunchtime, you know, like rather than someone makes my lunch for me. Dreamy.
So I think I think at that point, I think it's time to wrap up. And I think, yeah, so thank you to all the panelists. So thank you, Daisy, Sarah, Kane, and Lorraine. And thank you, Fern, for helping out with the videos. I didn't introduce you, but Fern's here to help us with the videos. And thanks, everyone, for joining us today. So this, again, I just want to mention this was the first in a few events that we're planning around Bgss Vibe. So the next one will be out in the next quarter. And look out for details about that. The recording will be sent out about this for anyone who signed up, so look out for that as well. But if you do want to get in touch with any of us, all of us will be on, we're on LinkedIn. You can contact us if you've got any questions about anything that we've mentioned today that you didn't get a chance to ask. There's also the careers page on the Bgss website if you want to go there, or you can contact recruitment@Bgss if you are interested in applying for a job with us. And I think that's it from us today. So I think we'll just say our goodbyes. So thank you everybody for joining us. And
Bye.
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 Bye.